Hey guys, welcome to today's video on the Healy. And what if the Healy is not a scam, but actually the best WellTech device that you could be carrying right now to manage your energy? So if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Elika. I'm a trusted advisor and energy optimization coach for purpose-driven leaders and teams who want to manage their energy to avoid burnout, because they understand that energy is our most powerful resource that we have, and you want to use that to create the impacts that you're here to do in the world. So the Healy device is something that I had to talk about today because this has been on my mind for some time, because it's one of those things that is completely integrated into my lifestyle, that how could I not share that this is what I use as part of my daily energy management. So I thought I'd do this video today to go through the Healy in a little bit more detail from some of the other programs that I've taught. But then I thought, no, actually, because there are many WellTech devices out there at the moment, I'm going to recap on what the Healy is about and some of the things that people share and concerns that they have when I speak to them about it. So the first thing you should know is this is the Healy. The Healy is almost like a mix between a wearable device and a big machine that you get in a lot of longevity clinics now, or traditionally in hospitals, that measure frequency. So we obviously know that we can measure brainwave activity, heartbeats, all of these things, but frequency has been something that we've used for such a long time in the medical world, but not in this way. So what the Healy does is it almost takes a wearable device, but it allows you to access the technology of measuring frequency. So if you think about the fact that, like the old school TVs, this is what really always gets me. I was an early 80s baby, so I still remember the TVs with the antennas. And if you wanted to change the station, you would move the antenna to pick up the frequency that you needed. A bit like if you think about a radio station, you have to tune in to the correct channel. This is all frequency. And one of our challenges is always when a new technology disrupts a new industry and people cannot see it coming. You see this with Airbnb, you see this with Uber, and the same thing has happened with frequency, energy frequency technology. So what the Healy have done is they've built a device that inside has got a quantum sensor that is able to scan for frequency. And so to understand frequency, we have to go back to understanding energy. So at its base level, every single thing that you hear, see, the chair that you're sat on, the food that you eat, is at the base level an atom. And when atoms vibrate, they emit frequency. And that is what we measure in hertz as the language of energy. And so we can measure the frequency of absolutely everything. But because the human eye can't see it, that feels sometimes difficult for us. We can imagine measuring the frequency of our heart now, because that is more in modern day language. But when we say measuring the frequency of our skin, measuring the frequency of our gut or the parts of our gut, right? Like the pancreas or the large intestine or the small intestine or the colon, but then measuring frequency of the skin, of the muscles, of the tissue, all of this is measurable, because when we bring it down to base level, we see that the muscles, the tissues are made up of cells, and therefore we can measure the frequency of everything. So what the concern is sometimes about the Healy is that, is it one of those wellness devices that's just really good, either spiritual marketing because it's to do with energy, or just MLM type marketing? So the Healy does operate on a pyramid system. And those of you that are familiar with pyramid system products, there are so many out there that are amazing, like doTERRA, which is one that I use, which is certified therapeutic grade oils. Another one that I love is the Thermomix, which is an amazing German machinery, a cooking, like all-in-one cooking device, also built on a pyramid scheme. So just because something is built on a pyramid scheme does not mean that the product is a scam. In fact, I tend to find that pyramid schemes have some of the best products, because if you think about it, for it to provide commission at so many different layers as you go down from the hierarchy in the chain, you better have something really good that people can talk about. You better have some literature behind it. Now, I would say, admittedly, for a device that's so powerful as the Healy, it does have scientific research against it, behind it, but nowhere near as much as I believe that a device should have like this. And so I just want to share with you my experience. So how I first got the Healy was as somebody that is specialized in working with people on improving their energy. firstly identifying where the energy leaks are in their life, personally and professionally, and then plugging the gap. And so then bringing them back into the overflow so they can use that energy to really serve and to create an impact in this world. So I was actually speaking at a conference, and I was approached by somebody that actually had been based in Germany and been introduced to Healy and was looking to expand that in the market that I was in. And I was a little bit skeptical at first, but she was really good, and she did what I do for all my clients, is she told me to be the human guinea pig. So she said, just try it. And so I had a very specific injury that I wanted to work on, which was my Achilles tendon. And because I had tested it, I'd done an ultrasound on it, I had scans on it, I knew the state of it. And she told me to use it consistently every day for 3 months. And she gave me 2 programs that would really work on it. And beautifully for me, which I love about the Healy, is that it had a program for the tendon, but it also had a program just for tissue. So I did both. And within 3 months, the injury had completely gone. And the thing is, I had ultrasound, so I could, check what was going on with it. I had done needling into it, acupuncture. I had done, oh my gosh, I'd done obviously osteo, physio around it. I'd done so much around it. So I could see that the only thing that I was doing differently was using the Healy. So I continued to use the Healy for all the different programs that it had. And, my main pillars that I tend to work on with the Healy are around sleep, because I want to optimize my energy through sleep management, nervous system regulation. So that's either like calming the parasympathetic system or nervous system, the tissues, or relaxing my mind or clearing my mind, or rebalancing the main energy centers in the body, which we also refer to as the chakras. So something like that. Those are the main things that I'm tending to work on, because obviously I really want to harmonize my mitochondria so that I feel more effective in my body's ability to use energy well. Now, I realized that is one brilliant part of the Healy. But what I love about the Healy is the Healy comes in different layers, as in you can buy it at a basic level, which gives you a few programs, and then you can go up to what I have, which is the full professional, which allows me to, really not just use it for myself, but to scan my clients and to see what's going on for them. And so when we use most of these programs, or most of these levels, they have one part of it which allows us to just scan our body. I call it the doctor. It's an app that comes with 2 apps, and this app allows us to scan and get the Healy to recommend what it's good for, what you need. And then you have the other app, which is actually to run the programs. Now, what I did is I built this into my habits, my daily habits, to scan my body at the beginning of the morning to see what was showing up on the Healy. And so when you do this over time, like I've been doing this for 3 years, you can see the accuracy. If you've not slept and then it shows you sleep, that it's right? When you do that for 3 years. So you build up your own personal data. But what I find for most people is if you're thinking about that and you haven't built up your own data, of course you're going to be nervous. Or if some people have just been doing it for a week or 2 weeks and trialed it and they're like, oh no, I don't think it works. You haven't built up enough data. Then also when big things come into your life, like I was thinking about some really big decisions around family, around moving country and all of these things. And the Healy is showing you that. How does it show you? Well, another one of the programs that I use is an aura scan. The aura scan's main job is to check the main energy centers I've talked about, so the 7 chakras. And it tells you which ones are low in energy, and it tells you specifically what is disturbing the energy. Because remember, the way that Healy is designed is that they have taken frequencies of everything, emotions, right, thoughts, as well as muscle and tissue, and they have converted that into language, right, using technology, so that it can translate to us what that frequency means. So that's how we can then read where we have imbalances. So for example, one of the ones that shows up for me quite often is the sacral. And I have a lot of management and support that I have to offer to my gut, because as a generator in human design, my gut is my inner authority. So that's how I make decisions. And it is therefore always one of those areas that gets disturbed when something is off balance in my life. And so I see by doing the aura scan all the time that when that energy center is off, and of course I feel it. So when it tells me it's off, but then I can go a layer deeper and I can see exactly what it thinks that I need to work on, because obviously the gut is it's known as a second brain. There's many things. It could be my emotions that I need to work with and what it is that's affecting my emotion. And it can tell me something very specific. When I say very specific, it can say something like, this person is having a problem in communicating a desire that she has in her life. And I know that I'm having a problem in thinking about how I'm going to diet, or this person has outsourced their power to key relationships in their life. And this is what's happening to me. So these sorts of things, for me, create emotional well-being. Because once you get clarity on something and it's draining your energy because it's in your subconscious and you bring it to your conscious, you can then really take action on it, knowing that this is having an impact on your well-being. So using the Healy in this way, to me, that nobody can tell me without, like, okay, you could say it's placebo, it's working, right? But I don't know how much science papers that the Healy has that proves that what I'm experiencing, but I can tell you what I'm experiencing in my life, and then it producing the report that shows me that there's an imbalance there, and then me knowing that I can take action on that is very empowering and very healing for me and creates a lot of inner peace. The other thing that I've noticed is that I use the coach module on it. And the coach module allows you to add in a mantra. So, for example, one of my lovely mantras that I love is I am healthy, I am wealthy. And do you know, there's another one that I use that's kind of in there as well. But I am healthy and I am wealthy is a big one for me. And when I put that mantra into the coach app, it tells you where you have imbalances that are not resonating with that frequency. Remember, words carry energy and therefore are frequencies that can be measured, right? You know it. If somebody says something to you like, oh, you don't look great in that, how do you feel? You don't feel high frequency, right? You don't feel high vibe. You don't feel happy. If someone says to you, oh my God, you look amazing, how do you feel, right? You feel good about yourself. So you know that words carry frequencies. So you put these in and it tells you which frequencies are out of balance. So when I look at that and it tells me, and like it brings up a circular graph and it shows me what is out of balance for that mantra that I'm saying. And so, for example, it could tell me that what's out of balance in that is like the emotion that I have around something specific related to it. And when I read that, that is how I feel. And so I know where I've got to do my inner work in, where I've got to focus my intentions around to shift that. It really just brings things that are hiding in our subconscious, because obviously it's some layer, we know about it. It brings it to the surface and it allows you to prioritize the work that you're going to do in your inner work, your personal growth, where you need to pay attention to. So these are all real elements for me that I think, how can I call Healy a scam or just kind of undermine it as something that is just good spiritual marketing on a new product when it has that level of impact in my life. So I think that these are things that nobody's talking about when it comes to the Healy. And maybe because we're so focused on like the elements of energy that are frequency and going, for example, can you test it healing somebody's heart? We're focused on those things and then not having always the research for that specific thing, because there's so many things, right? So the Healy has, the one that I have has over 144,000 frequencies and 300 programs. So there's many things that it could work on. But I think when we look at, whether this is a device that's helping people, I really just think that nobody's talking about the genuine use of it to coach yourself, to develop yourself, to take care of your own well-being mentally and emotionally. And that is a huge part of it. And I hope that they can produce more and more research to confirm that. So, I would say that science is finally catching up with what ancient wisdom has always known, which is that everything is frequency. So if you can wear a small wearable device that can shift your emotions, your energy, even your gut health, like, I think you should put Healy to the test and really see if what I'm sharing, and the experience that I'm having works for you or not. So if you're open-minded and you're like me and but you're still discerning, like, this is what I would do. I would look into the videos specifically by Marcus, the founder. He's a quantum physicist of Healy, because I find that especially a lot of the clients that I work with, you can speak to somebody and hear them talking and you can feel if they're talking the truth. And whenever I listen to Marcus, I feel all of his intention, all of his heart, all of the sweat, everything, the reason why he wants to do it. And what I absolutely love, because there are many different devices out there, is that I love that I think that this is a founder that is bridging the gap between science and spirituality, because that is something that we really, really need in today's world. So that when something is given to us in a language that we don't understand, whether it's too spiritual and too woo-woo or too scientific and not grounded in the reality of how I live, like I love people, and I know I'm one of them, but people that try to bridge that gap for everybody so that we can be on the journey together instead of like having this whole separation thing. So I would love to hear like what questions that you have around that. It's all I wanted to share today about the Healy. I just really wanted to give a different perspective on, whether Healy is a device, is just another, wellness scam or whatever, or whatever people are saying. And I think that, just sharing with my experience, I hope that can help you. So if you have a question, please write in the comments. Would love to hear just your thoughts around the Healy anyway. And especially for those that are thinking, you know what, this could be that missing tool that I want in my household. I want you to know that, yes, I am a reseller of the Healy because I believe in it, and I do share products that I believe that have helped me on my own journey or helped my clients on my journey. So why would I not share this? And so there will be a link that I will put in the description box for you to explore. If you do end up buying Healys through me, I actually have created a Healy community with a good friend of mine. So we offer a community that gives you support with questions and the integration and how you can use certain things, programs, because I just personally found that when you buy a Healy has, honestly, it has thousands of information pieces on its website, lots, and it has a huge community as well. But I think it's nice to be plugged into smaller communities as well, right, that are really quite hands-on in different ways. And so we do offer that when people purchase it from us. So just wanted to let you know that I'm transparent about all of this, because I don't think there is anything to be worried about or anything wrong. And I can only share my own experience. I can't speak for the device and say legally what it is, and that's for Healy to produce information on themselves. But what I can share is what my experience is on using Healy, and you can do your own research. You can do your own look into Healy's website and what they say and what they produce about it. You can contact Healy directly. But I want to just be honest and share my experience of being so happy with having this tool that is not just helping me in diagnosing my own internal world, but is sending frequencies into my body that I feel is helping to harmonize that. So yeah, that inner landscape bit is a huge one. So leave your comments, and if you think this is useful for somebody else that might need it, please feel free to share it with them. And if you haven't already subscribed to all things related to how you can manage your energy effectively, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. Take care. See you on the next one.